This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hey, photographers, welcome. This is Portfolio Lab. Portfolio Lab we do every Tuesday and Thursday. Portfolio Lab is where I look at your photography. I look at your photographs, specifically pictures that you're thinking about for your portfolio. The reason that it's important for photographers to have their work looked at by a pro, it's because of feedback. You need a feedback loop. I've been doing feedback for the photographers that have been assisting me, for the photographers that are in my program, as long as I've been a photographer. And I got to tell you, the photographers that have been my assistants in the past, like Mr. Javier Lavera, he is a Colombian-born photographer who has a master's degree in aerospace engineering and gave up aerospace engineering to be a fashion photographer. He found me, and I helped Javier become a fashion photographer. So that's just one of the examples. Another photographer who wanted to be another assistant who wanted to be a photographer, his name is Corey Vanderplu. Corey came to me when he was 19 years old. And yes, that's the weekend. I helped Corey become a photographer. These are all photographers that were not afraid of feedback. Another, Wade Hudson. Wade Hudson came to me when he was 18 years old. Jamaican-born, so insanely talented. Wade was my assistant for 2 years. And this is the work that Wade is doing right now. And of course, let's talk about the people who I'm helping right here through Portfolio Lab, through the Carty Method. Let's talk about Garan Rath. Garan Rath is a South African-born photographer who started his work shooting everything. And through the Carty Method, we helped Garan discover that he's actually a product photographer. And look at the work that Garan Rath is doing after being with the Carty Method for less than a year. This is Garan Rath. Let's look at another, Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson was a full-timer doing something else that was not photography just this time last year. And less than a year with me, Nick is a full-time photographer because Nick is not afraid of feedback. Let me show you another one who's in the Carty Method and in Portfolio Lab. This is Charles Fortin. And Charles is an absolutely incredible photographer and is a traveler and wanted to figure out how to merge his love for photography into a career. And he found the Carty Method. And this is what Charles' work looks like after 3 months with the Carty Method. So what I'm doing here isn't a joke. What I'm doing here is something that I believe is needed. I'm using old school philosophies merged with new school technology, and I'm teaching the next generation how to be the top 1% photographers in the industry. Now, I'm not for everybody. The way that I deliver my information is very direct. I don't beat around the bush. I tell you exactly what's working and exactly what's not. And I'm not for everybody, which is completely okay. But the people who I am for, I'm trying to change lives. I'm trying to create transformations with your life and your photography that you're going to be able to benefit forever. That's what we're here for. This is Portfolio Lab. And you can join. It's super easy. This is one of the only programs that I have. I mean, you can't just join my accelerator because there's an interview process and your work, you have to be ready. But Portfolio Lab, you can just go to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab and sign up right now and start getting feedback, because The photographers that I'm about to show you who are seeking my feedback today on pictures that they're considering for their work, considering for their portfolio, just watch the level of photographers that watch me, and they're seeking feedback. So if you're not even at this level and you're not seeking feedback, you're just moving slower than you could be. Self-assessing, you can only self-assess for so long. I think this is good. I think this is bad. Well, based on what? Based on you? Well, you don't know. And again, the hard thing is to hear is you don't know what you don't know. This is where I come in. I'm a 34-year pro. I'm Carty. I've been doing professional photography since I was 20 years old. I'm currently 54. And I'm passionate about this craft. I am passionate about this craft, and I have to practice what I preach, so I can't just be talking without also delivering the hot fire. Colin Firth, the week before he won his Oscar, Pharrell Williams. I shoot the faces of today's generation. Yasmin Warsami. This is Edwin Japan, Cardinal Official, Ludacris, Kanon, Chantel Kreviasik, Ja Rule, back in the news again. Pete Rock. This is Grandmaster Flash. Like Beanie Man. Bounty Killer, I mean. Beanie Man's down here. Bobcat Goldthwait, Daft Punk, DMX. Like, I'm not just a YouTuber. This is what I keep, like, I'm so much more than just somebody who's on YouTube. I do this full time. This is what I do. I do YouTube as community service. The photographers who really want a transformation, they come here. So if that is you, I'm so glad you found me. And as mentioned, this is Portfolio Lab. By the way, if you want to chat with me, if you want to be in the live chat, you got to be a member. We do members only live chats. Everybody is allowed to watch. Of course, you can watch, but you got to hit the join button if you want to participate in chat like all these other cool homies are right now. If you're watching me live, thank you for being here. Let's get into Portfolio Lab. So first of all, this is week 15. So Thursdays I give an assignment. And by the way, if you stay to the end of today's show, I'll give you a little hint on what next week's assignment is. But Thursday's assignment is your niche on location. So it's super simple. I want you to produce a simple single image that fuses your unique photography style with a location, a local backdrop, which is going to instantly showcase your niche to a potential client. So I want to see location photography, your niche on location. That's the assignment for Thursday. If you're inside Portfolio Lab, heyo, thanks for subscribing, Tara. Welcome. If you're inside Portfolio Lab, you'll find the full detailed description on the assignment, and it's due tomorrow, so you should know this already. Your niche on location is what we're looking at on Thursday. Today, we are looking at pictures from your portfolio, pictures you're thinking about for your portfolio, starting with Mr. Courtney Turner. Courtney says, I got a chance to shoot a rare Porsche GT3 RS over the weekend at Cars and Coffee, right before staging this weekend. Portfolio worthy. Looking forward to your critique on this photo. Thanks in advance. This is shot with the Z7 with a 35mm 1.8 ISO 800 f6 at a 30th of a second. LED grid lighting in warehouse was out of my control. This is Mr. Courtney Turner. Courtney, thanks for submitting, my guy. Okay, my circle frame is gonna be way out of position, so let's go on up here. Let's move me down here. Let's make me just a little bit bigger. And then let's center me properly for those who are very detail oriented. All right, that looks about right. Courtney, we're looking good here this week, my guy. I really like what you did with the angle. The top down works. Now, I want to show you this as a cover. When we start to get into the cover, you can see that mirror detail feels like it's a bit high up in the frame. I kind of wish that that mirror was a little lower. I do know that there's a logo here that we're watching. Here, let me just move that. Let me show you. This here is a little too high in the frame. I feel like you got to draw an invisible line like where the masthead is going to be, to make sure that you kind of drop that below that line. Next, I see, I'm not sure what this is here. Let me just zoom in. What this is here, which it looks like it's just a bit of a, I don't know if it's a glitch in the carbon, but somehow down here, you have to clone a piece of the carbon and come down here and cover that. Let me just hide my circle. Up here, you can see a couple of things that, again, are super easy to get out in post-production. Your image is really tight, bro, but I want you to get into the level of insanity that's needed. Take this highlight out, take these highlights out. And also, you have to watch your depth of field. You can see how the car is so insanely sharp down here. But then as we go up the car, we start to get depth of field issues in here, in the mirror, and in here. So when we're doing a top down, this isn't a full top down. This is kind of a 3/4-ish top down. So the detail from here to all the way back here, you're going to deal with depth of field. So I want to have a look again to see what F you shot at. F6. So this is something that, again, you're limited with how bright the room is. You shot at ISO 800 already, at a 30th of a second. If you could get a tripod up this high, if you could lock the camera off somehow, like, again, it's somehow we got to get this a little deeper in depth of field. But again, overall, this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me. Just these small little highlights you can take out. I know that this is part of the grille of the car. In this instance, it's like you either have to show more of it or move this way to crop it out. Small little things here that you can take out. I see the reflection of the car that's over here inside the carbon. Couple of things on the concrete that you can clean. You could take this crack right away. Small things, Courtney, but this is a really good swing. I'm giving you an 11 on this one, my guy. Well done. That's Courtney Turner. Well done, Courtney. This is a good level up for you. You should be happy. This is a good level up for you. You should be really happy. Because I am. All right, this is Ian Martin. Ian says, I'm catching up on editing some personal work. This is from the same session as the back page assignment from a few weeks ago. Z8, 50mm 1.4, ISO 64, 1/30th of a second at f2, shot in natural light. This is Ian Martin. Ian, let's see what Ian's doing. Ian. Yes. This is a vibe, Ian. This is definitely a yes for me. This is a yes for me. Your lines are really disciplined. Let's look at this, see what this looks like as an 8x10. Hello. Show my 8x10. Yes, there yes. You go. Okay, let's look at what this looks like as an 8x10, Ian. This works for me. For me as an 8x10, I would crop it right there and get that first, get this part of the brick out. Oops. Get this out. You know what I mean? This part of the brick. Also, another little trickety trick you could do is because of, let me hide this, because of this bar here, what you could do is just clone that out. You could just clone that out because you have a nice piece right here that you could just grab from. And then that makes it just more about the door, because up here just becomes monochromatic. I really like the Bugatti. I like how it sits. I like how you're nice and low. It's super shiny. Like everything else works about this picture, Ian. Spacing, it's just a little bit different here from here. It's very, very, very slight. As you can see, that center bar and how it lines up with that. It's just where the car's placed, I think, is just placed just a little bit. Again, this is such a precise picture. You have to be like hyper precise. You can see the mirror here and the mirror here. It means that you're stepping just a little bit that way, which means you got to come just a touch over. It's like the smallest details that like the average person would miss. Let's check your horizon line. I think it's pretty bang on, to be honest. That looks pretty bang on to me. But as I drop the horizon line across there, now you see the spacing that's happening here and here. Again, it's just a touch set that way. But listen, Ian, I am nitpicking a very, very top level image. You should be thrilled. This can definitely go in your portfolio. I'd be very interested though, mister, to see what this looks like cloned out. Maybe do that and repost it in lab chat. Thanks so much for submitting. That's an 11 for me. And what is an 11, you might ask? An 11 is better than a 10. And it's from Spinal Tap, where it's like, yo, bro, turn the amp up to 11. And then you look at the amplifier and it goes to 10, but then they just hand drew in 11, which was like beyond louder than 10 out of 10, if that's possible. So when it comes to your photography, what we're looking for is 11s. And this is actually why. I'll break it down for you like this. So good used to be okay. It used to be good enough. But now, because of iPhones, everybody can make good pictures. So now, as a photographer, we have to find a new good, because good is now average, because everybody can make a good picture. So we need a new word. So our new word as a photographer has to be great. But guess what? Most photographers, for the average person, can make great photos. So how do you stand out amongst photographers? And how do you go pro? Well, you need a new word. And that new word is spectacular. Oops, let me spell it right. Spectacular. That is the new word. And that's where pros and the top 1% of pros have to live. We have to live in the realm of the spectacular, because even making great images still in the realm of photographers is average. So the only way that you can stand out, and guess what? Most people are making good pictures, but sadly, good is the new average as far as just regular people. So we need a new word, and that word is spectacular. And that's what I aim for. That's a secret. I don't even like to use that word. I don't even like to use the word spectacular, because just like amazing, we've overused amazing to the point like, wow, amazing? Were you like speechless? Were you like in wonder? Did you stop everything? Did you drop your phone? Was it actually amazing? You know, like we overuse these amazing words So spectacular is a word that you should keep in your pocket and keep it for secret, and only think of that. That word. That's why I say 11s, because 11 means spectacular. But again, I don't use that word. That's just a secret, by the way. I just let you in on a very big secret about what I seek. I seek the spectacular with my own words. And Nadine, no, you haven't missed your review. All right, that is Ian Martin. Very well done. This is Robert Myrick. Robert says, first submission after completely switching my niche, so I'll keep this as short as sweet as possible. Carty, our discussion during your live walk downtown made perfect sense, and luxury is definitely what I'm aiming for. Not just yachts, but the whole lifestyle side of luxury. This image was created during a local boat and yacht show where Porsche made an appearance. After a short conversation with the curator, they assisted by keeping the crowd back and allowed me to work. A7R5 24 to 70 at 24 to 72.8, shot at 40 millimeters. ISO 100 f13 1/250th of a second. This is Robert Myrick. Robert. Okay, this guy is about to be born. This Robert Myrick guy. Robert, this is the beginning of you actually starting to see differently. Now, don't get me wrong, Robert, there are a couple of things wrong with this image, but the overall is there. I'm going to tell you first what's working. Okay, I'm going to tell you first what's working, Robert. What's working is the color, okay? What's working is the stance. The stance, meaning you got low. What's working is the like, of the car. Like, you made this look really right. Now, there's a couple of things with your lines, and you can see because you're shooting with a wide angle, lines have a tendency to like converge unless you're hitting it like at the exact. So in this instance, I know that these lines up here are straight. Like, I know that like, I think it is, because I see this one here being straight, but maybe it flares out. Maybe it does flare out. And I know you couldn't move the car, so you're limited by what we could do here. There's also people. There's a person right here, and you know, there's speakers and blah, blah, blah. So I know that you're working around like a certain thing, but this is the beginning of you getting close to owners and being able to get this car in the place that you want it, so you can be doing the kind of stuff that my other car shooters are doing. The paint looks great. I really want you to watch your depth of field when you're doing these, to make sure that you get like a really tight focus from here where you're focusing on, which is the lock nuts on the wheel here, to all the way back here. But again, this is pretty good. Like, as far as your swings, Robert, this is a brand new you. And this is the first stroke for a brand new you. So I'm really excited about this. Now for you, your next thing is obsession. Okay? Your next thing is obsession. That's what I want to see, hear from you. And I have to run to the front and get something, because it's really important that it makes my point here. Switch back to this camera. Uno momento. All right. Robert, promise me this. Promise me this. Promise me that you're going to go to a magazine store and buy Car and Driver and every other magazine that is car related that grabs you, okay? You are also looking at luxury, okay? And when you buy magazines like this, you see images and you see the way that cars are shot, the way that cars are cropped, the type of work that gets in magazines. This is why I always show you, this is what it looks like as a double page. This is what it looks like as a cover. This is what it looks like as this. It's because of this. And also this. And also this. Like,
Yes, sir,
look,
yes.
It shows you, this is a book full of approved photos. There's nobody who has to approve the photos that go on the internet. But when you physically buy a magazine and see, like, this is I'm going to call this $125,000 picture. This Acura image for this back page, not to mention it's a $50,000 ad buy, probably more, $100,000 ad buy. So you actually get to see the kind of photos that make it in a magazine. And it's so necessary to see what makes it in a magazine. So, if you're trying to be a photographer, and I talk to photographers all the time, and you don't have like on hand, this is British Vogue. And it's just like, you have to look at British Vogue. You have to see like what editorial photo, like, oh, magazines, is print dead? Print is not dead, man. You're just not looking at it. Print is alive and amazing. That's a double page spread, by the way. You see how it's strategically placed so the gutter can go in between both of them but not lose any detail? Why is Carty so fanatical about double page spreads? Look at this. Look at this. I didn't bring any of the magazines that I'd shot for. I was trying to do this quick. Product photography. Look at this. Louis Vuitton bag. Look at the nails. Like, if you're not looking at magazines, come on. Like, think of this for a layout for your portfolio. Think of this for a layout for your website. Like, this is where all the ideas for layouts come. This is where all your ideas come from. Shoot portraits? I shoot editorial portraits. Look at that. So, that was Vogue. This is Dazed. Young, great, and free. Look, Chanel ad on the back page. Come on. Look at this ad for North Face. Look at how they use the gutter. They have the people leaning against the gutter. Do you think that this was shot for print? There's a method to my madness. There is a method to my madness. There is a reason you buy magazines, because then as a product photographer, you have better ideas. You have better ideas instead of regurgitating the stuff that's in your head. Telling you, buy magazines. It is your future. So, print is not dead. And you, Robert, this is the beginning of your obsession. So, for this, my friend, this is an 11. I'm going to tell you this. This will not be in your portfolio 1 month from now, but this is the beginning of me creating this luxury photographer. And I'm so proud of you, my guy. I'm so proud of you. Robert says, I got Car and Driver in my hand right now. So you're already on magazines. Now we get into intelligent imitation, Robert. And also, Robert, phase 0 and phase 1 for you, my friend. Phase 0 and phase 1. I really want you in my more advanced program. I really do. Guys, that was Robert Myrick. Robert, thanks for submitting, my guy. So proud of you, bro. Let's go. I really, when someone finds themselves, when someone finds their niche, it brings me, when I help someone find their niche, it brings me such joy. Brings me such joy because, Robert, honestly, bro, this is like, you saw what we did for Sean. Look at Ian Martin, Mike Morrison. Like, yeah, I got a lot of car shooters that are starting to watch me. And again, I'm not a car shooter, but I'm not your average photographer. I can help anybody in any niche get their career going 100%. All right, guys, let's get into our next photographer. That is Frank Tom. Frank says, I spent the weekend working on my website and re-editing some image to showcase magazine formats, spreads, and covers. This is one that I re-edited for a spread format. 1DX, 400mm 2.8. 400mm 2.8. Wow. ISO 1250 and 8,000th of a second at f4. Okay. Natural light. Let's look at Frank Tom. Frank, let's get it on. Jesus, Frank. Jesus, Frank. Okay. Yes, but I'm wondering if you're pushing in now too tight just because of how digital it's starting to go. Like, I'm just worried about how digital it's starting to go, Frank. Let me show you 100% again. I mean, that's the full image, which compositionally, bro, it's so strong. It's so strong. But I also know it's also punched in so much as well. I know it's also punched in. So because of the extra punch in, you're really losing the main umph from the sensor. So your work is too good that when we zoom in, it falls apart. And here, just because of the DPI, especially with a 1DX, just because of what the details are looking like on the hand and the double line and stuff like that, like, it just ends up being a little bit too much. And then also, Frank, they say this thing about me. I'm a seer. I see everything, okay? I see everything, Frank. And I know you're watching at home. I want you to look at this image, okay? But the way that I look at photography, I look at it in a systematic way. You saw I did this, and then I zoomed in, and then I saw the grain, okay? But guess what, Frank? What is happening with this guy's eyeball? What is happening with this eye here? Is that the position this guy, that eye is supposed to be in? And then also I see an eye here, and then I see a nose here, and then it looks like two faces on top of itself. So I see a face here, and then I see a nose here, and then I see an eye here, but then there should be an eye over here. So this is now where, and the way that the mouth is going. Yeah. So this is not this is not the kind of image that you can stack because he's in motion. His eye should be here to match that one, but then it's down here. and then nose, like it's just the stack doesn't work on the face. When you see it at this level, you don't notice it, but Frank, you spend a hell of a lot of time on an image that I'm going to end up saying, no, it's not in your book. It doesn't go in your book. Anton caught that as well. So I want you to, again, you have such great imagery, bro. This is one of those images that people don't miss. They won't miss if it's not there. Okay. As strong as a composition is, it's not book worthy because of the punch in and because of all the other things that we just caught. I hope that brings you value. That is Frank Tom. Frank. All right. This is Marcus Walker Mayfield. Welcome, Marcus. Thank you for signing up. Shot in the backyard at midday at midday with the sun at her back. This is more of a test to help me understand the flash and the limitations along with high-speed sync. I'm going to talk about high-speed sync in a second and why you should stop using it right away. R5, 50mm 1.2. I already know what the image looks like before seeing it. ISO 100, 2.8 at a 1600th of a second. Marcus, no more high-speed sync. Stop that immediately. One Godox 8400 strobe. All right, this is Marcus Walker Mayfield. Marcus, let's go. Beautiful image, Marcus. You don't need high-speed sync, okay? You don't need high-speed sync. It's not necessary. When you're shooting studio light, our camera shutter opens like this, then closes. Opens, then closes, okay? When you get above the flash sync speed, the camera shutter opens like a slit and then like moves down. So high speed sync, when you're shooting portraits, it's not necessary because essentially what we're trying to do is use flash and natural light together. Also light meter instead of, I'm not sure if you have a light meter. The exposure here is good. I would love to talk with you. Is it Marvin? Marcus. So Marcus, yeah, I would love to talk with you just to help you on especially if you're new to strobe and outdoor strobe, and using strobe at all. High speed sync, dude. Courtney says never mention high-speed sync in Carty's presence because it's not a thing. It's like something that camera companies invented, but yeah, it's not a thing. I get so frustrated. So no high-speed sync, Marcus. That's the first thing. The second thing is this is a horizontal picture, but I want you to notice a couple of things. First of all, there's nothing important over here, right? And there's nothing important over here. The only thing that's important is her, and I'm guaranteeing that there's important things down here, like her arms and the rest of her body. Humans are vertical. Also, magazine pages, also vertical. Magazine pages, vertical. So the most natural thing to do when we hold our camera is to hold it like this. Take a picture, because most people don't have this on their camera, which every photographer who's trying to be a pro needs this, which is the grip. The camera comes like this. Now look at my hand. This is an R5, just like yours. Look at my hand. You see how my finger actually doesn't, here, I'll put this camera on. See how my finger doesn't actually like, I can't hold the whole camera, but guess what? Look what happens when I go like this to shoot vertically, which is in how you should shoot this picture, is this wrist is uncomfortable. So guess what? Photographers don't do it. They shoot this way. And then if they want a vertical, they crop. Okay, so this is why this thing was invented. Let me show you. This is called a grip. You take the battery out. The battery door gets stored right here inside the grip so you don't lose it. And then it takes 2 batteries instead of 1. 2 batteries. Okay? And then this goes inside the battery hole like this, and you lock it on. And now the most important thing about the grip is the vertical buttons. You see the shutter button right here and all the back buttons right here, the same back buttons that are here, same back buttons right here. And now look, I can hold the camera comfortably, vertically, without my wrist being jacked over. So this is why every pro and also when I'm holding the camera this way, do you see how all my hand is on the camera? So I'm actually way more stable, and it makes your camera more stable when you're shooting. Makes the camera look more weighty and look more pro. So, not to mention, yes, I showed the extra battery. This, I can hold this one-handed vertically and also horizontally with all the back buttons. So please get a grip. The next thing, Marcus, is your composition. You are composing on the thirds. You're composing on the thirds. And I'm going to show you what I mean when I say you're composing on the thirds. This is what this is now going to look like in a double page spread in a magazine. So do you see how your daughter is now hugging the gutter? Because you weren't thinking where the photo would go. When you're hired, it always goes somewhere. So double page spreads, and if you look at Frank Tom's double page spread and the way it was composed, exactly knowing where the gutter is, because that's how, when you hold your camera horizontally, that is exactly 2 pages in a magazine with no cropping. Exactly. So for your picture now, you can see composition wise, this is not composed for a double page spread. And also it doesn't need to be, because your photo actually exists. Show me this frame, please. Not sure why this button is so bad at working. There it is. So you can see your image is actually here. Yes or yes, right? So everything else that you're shooting in this image is not important. This is the only thing that's important. You see how now all you see is her, but now let's look at all of the sensor that you're wasting of your 45 megapixel CMOS sensor. All of this is just being wasted. So that's why we turn the camera vertical and shoot vertical and have her head coming right in here, and you actually crop out that stuff in the frame. So it actually, you're using the most of the frame, and you're getting the best for the sensor that you're paying for. Okay, so focus-wise, it's good. Light-wise, the light position is good. The smile is really good. What I don't know is what kind of photographer that you're trying to be. Are you shooting kids? Are you shooting portraits? Are you just practicing? I'm trying to figure out where this fits in the scale of your portfolio. If this is a portfolio image, I don't know if it fits in your portfolio. I need to know what your niche is. That will help me greatly determine what shots you should be making for your niche. So, being niched is the most important thing. If you have not done phase 0 yet, Marcus, phase 0 has to be your next stop, because that really, and again, you said that it's a test shot that you're just using. It says here it's a test to help you understand the flash, and you're using high-speed sync. So do another test, shoot vertical, and rather than using high-speed sync, here's what you do. Get your light meter, which I'll get, take an ambient reading, say the ambient reading is, and also set your shutter speed at 125. Let that be the constant. ISO 100, 125, and then take an ambient reading. Say the ambient reading is 5.6. Okay, then get your strobe, and at 125 ISO 100, adjust your strobe until you get 5.6. And now your strobe is lighting, but it balances the daylight exactly. And then increase the power of your strobe a third. So now you shoot a third hotter, a third up, and then the background gets a third darker. So you can actually control how dark your background is based on reading the ambient light and then setting your flash just slightly hotter than what your ambient light is. That's the process to mixing daylight with strobe. I hope that helps you. That is Marcus Walker Mayfield, new submitter. Marcus, glad you're here, my guy. Thanks for submitting. Welcome. And again, you do get it. I can see that you can shoot. You really do get it, but the composition is off because you're thinking of this as a test instead of thinking of it as like a photograph that you can use after. And that happens when you hold your camera and you frame it, and you know what I mean? Because even then, now it's a test, but also you can use it. I want you to think, don't hold the camera this way, hold the camera this way, especially with people, because people go up and down, and magazines go up and down too. There's a reason to shoot horizontal, but you shouldn't default to horizontal. In fact, I do photo shoots where I shoot vertical the whole time. I don't go horizontal at all. And then I forget, I'm like, I should have shot something for web, or something double page, but I shoot at times the whole shoot vertical. Lock it in. All right. Andrew, thank you. This is our next photographer, who is named Kivian Durrett. Kivian says, natural light with the Blue Ridge Mountains, Sony A7R5, 85 millimeter 1.4, 80 millimeter f2.8, ISO 100. And Anton, just this, buy the camera. That dream camera that I've been telling you to get for a year, just get it so you can focus on other things. All right, this is Mr. Kivian Durrett. Kivian, thanks for submitting. Kivian, this is definitely a vibe. Again, I'm trying to learn more about what your niche is as well. If you're shooting these type of family portraits, like, again, it helps me when I know what your niche is, Kivian. I know that you're new to submitting as well. The more that I can understand you, the better that I can help you. Composed well, although I feel like the offset is like a little extra. But and again, because you sacrificed cutting off the tree here, like I don't see enough of the tree. Like it really does feel a little cut off, Kivian. So, and it's also like leaning in this instance, like I would have put them over here more, and then I would have been able to like show a little bit more of the tree. Yeah, it feels a little off. And again, I appreciate you showing scale. Like it definitely works, and the light on them is beautiful. Is that, I'm not sure if that's her knee or a baby's head, which is, yeah, that's her knee. Or his knee. Until just now, I thought that was a baby's head, but I definitely see now a little bit more what it is. I think the positioning of them, and like having them just up a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not sure about the way that you position them behind the rock. And again, Kivian, I need to know what type of a photographer that you are, what type of photographer that you're trying to be, what type of work you're trying to seek. Again, there's a couple of things. I would have just put them up here, on that rock, probably more so here in the same position, so they're not like on the other side of that cliff. It would have given just a little bit more brand identity, and you can use a tree still to frame them. It's just for me, compositionally, just a little bit off. It's very close, though, Kivian. Very close. Help me by telling me what your niche is. Include that within your next submission. And again, if you're not sure what your niche is, do phase 0. I have a what's your perfect niche exercise within phase 0. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get you shooting the right work. You can't just shoot any work that you're asked to shoot. And I know that it's like when you're new, like, yes, that's what we do. But again, I'm trying to figure out what it is that you're trying to do, what your niche is. And again, if it is couples, understand that couples are limited by how much money they make. So my suggestion is always work for companies over people. Work for people who work for companies, people who represent a company, people who need something because of a company. But if it's just like lovey-lovey kind of pictures, you're limited to like how much they're willing to pay for that. You know what I mean? So, and then you end up competing on price because anybody can take those kinds of couple shots. I want you to be thinking of how can I make work that only I can make that brings value to a company. It's going to bring a huge add to your work. I need to understand you a little bit more, Kivian, and what your goals are with photography. Thanks for submitting. That is Kivian Durit. Thank you, Kivian. All right. This is Francis Jeffrey. This is the headshot of the same woman you said you wanted to see a headshot of last week. Well, the reason, Francis, is because last week you submitted not to our specifications. There's no watermarks. There's no text on photos. And you sent me a comp card. And I had my team tell you that I don't review photos that are mock-ups or anything. Like, it's just the photo. So the reason that I asked you to submit this photo is because you said that you don't have anything to submit this week. And you're not thinking of the photo that I didn't review last week because you didn't follow my instructions. So, shot with the Rebel SL3 50mm prime 1/500th of a second f4 at ISO 200. This is Francis Jeffrey. Francis, this is not the photo from last week. This is not the photo from last week. Okay, Francis, thanks for submitting. This is not the photo from last week of the girl on the comp card. This is another picture of your mom. And we were, again, it's the light is better, but the expression, she's not in the right readiness for a photo. This is an in-between moment. So the in-between moments we edit out and we only show the perfect picture. So, Francis, this is not the photo that I asked for. This is not the photo that I asked you to submit. I have everybody in chat. I have one person, Michael, saying this is not the photo we recommended he submit. I have calligraphy saying literally the photo we tell him not to go with every time he submits. Why? Francis, I'm wondering if this is right for you. I'm getting to the point where I'm wondering whether this is right for you because you're not following my very simple instructions. And because you're not, it's upsetting me and it's frustrating me. And we're going to have a talk, Francis. Okay. We're going to have a talk, mister. Thanks for submitting. All right. This is Nadine O'Connor. Freightliner resubmission. It's a bit of a repeat and a catch-up for me this week. This is the original unedited window shot. A6300 f11 1.4, ISO 100 f16 1/200th of a second, natural light. This is Nadine O'Connor. Nadine, let's get it on. So I see why you tried to take away what's in the windshield. I definitely get it. What I'm seeing right now, though, even more predominantly, is dust on your sensor, which I'm seeing. Which I'm seeing up here. Dust here and dust here. That's dust on your sensor. You need a blower brush. I'll show you what one looks like. And then dust on your sensor here. Dust on sensor always appears dark. FYI, it always appears dark. And you can see also dust here, dust here, dust here. So that, and then also look here, dust here, dust here. This is all on your sensor. Here, 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 here. This is all on your sensor. Okay. So, you need a blower brush to blow the dust off your sensor, Nadine. And I definitely see why you darkened this windshield. Like I get it. It doesn't quite hit as hard without it, but the good thing is that you resubmitted is that you now see this one thing that I'm going to show you how to fix. All right. Okay. I know you have a smaller camera. It's a Sony A6300. But the lens comes off. And what happens on a digital camera when you take the lens off? Look, for me, I have an R5. So my shutter is closed when the camera is off. Okay? But if you turn the camera on, look what happens. Okay? You see the sensor right there? So you need this. This is a pocket rocket. And you do this through here. You see how far away I am? Like this. Like this. And then, yeah, that's on mirrorless cameras. And especially lower end ones, you just take that and pocket rocket this, okay? Also, I don't know how it is on Sony's, but on Canon cameras, on the back, you go into, where is it? Here, on the back, and it says sensor cleaning. You see right here. And then you say, yes, sensor cleaning, and it says clean now, clean auto, or clean manually. And I have mine auto cleaning at power off. So if you say clean now, what it does is you take the lens off, it opens, and it also does a little shake in order to like get that off your the dust off your sensor, and then you get a pocket rocket and you blow that off. Okay. That's how you clean a sensor. That's how you clean your sensor. Everybody, you should be doing that every couple of shoots. And if you see, like, if I see one thing like that, one thing on my sensor, I'm like, so I see lots on your sensor, Nadine. So get on that. All right. That is Nadine. And Nadine, again, this is close. I want you to remember you are a portrait photographer. I want you to be thinking of portraits of the people who you drive trucks with. Like portraits. And again, sometimes with their truck, sometimes not. It doesn't have to always be with their truck. I'd rather you care more about the right light than having a truck behind them. You know what I mean? It's like the person that I'm trying to get you to capture. You're so good at portraits. I want you to start thinking about how you can lean in more on portraits. Do that for me, with or without the truck, but think more about the light than the truck that they're driving. Because sometimes they're the character and their truck is okay, but it's not as, like, again, sometimes yes, the perfect shot with the truck, but sometimes not. So, Miss Nadine, I want to see a picture of a human next time you submit. Thanks for submitting. And yes, it's way better with the, like, you obviously have to do some room styling. You have to do some room styling in here, Miss Turn Signal Chronicles. You got to do some room styling in here before you shoot these kind of images and take your phone down and all that stuff. It's got to be, you got to really, really, like, really think about it before you make these kinds of pictures. Because, you know, I see everything. I see everything. And your clients will too. All right. That is Nadine O'Connor. This is Gerard Danso, 5D Mark II, 70 to 200, 2.8. Oh, by the way, we're at 45 people watching. If I hit, Mike, tell me when we get 50 likes, yeah? If, like, again, and more people will watch. I'm trying to get 40 likes first. We're trying to inch us up towards 50 likes. I have my team in chat. We get 50 likes. I'm going to gift 5 memberships to this channel. Gerard Danso, this is a 5D Mark II, 70 to 200, 2.8, 1 2/50th of a second, 7.1, ISO 100, natural light. This is Gerard Danso. Gerard, thanks for submitting. So, I feel like I want to see this girl standing. I definitely see what you're trying to do. Starting from the bottom corner, this toe is too close. Her heel is too close to the end. If this is going to print, you lose 1/8 of an inch all the way around to the equivalent of 1/4 of an inch altogether from your photo when you go to print, including being in print and magazines. But the body language isn't right. Her back arm is hyperextending, which is, it doesn't look right. And then this is the area that I see the most. Again, she's a beautiful girl, but the way that you positioned her leaning back like this, it's not flattering for someone who's wearing this type of an outfit. So because she has this type of an outfit on, it's not flattering, because when she's leaning back, that ends up revealing this. So with someone's wearing this type of an outfit, I would always have them standing because it makes them long, and then you can use the wind with the skirt to kind of like blow. For me, the styling isn't exact. The styling's not right, Gerard. It's not really like it's not the right styling. It looks like it's just not the right styling. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's pulling, it doesn't look luxury. It feels, oops, you didn't see that. It feels a little inexpensive. So the scene is okay. I like you using scale. I need to see her standing. And I want you to think, when you're making these pictures, who is it for? And if it's just for her, like, think swimwear company. That's someone, like, that could be something that you could be using, like a swimwear company, because you're on the beach, you're in Ghana. So think bathing suit companies, and then find swimsuit models, and then you make these kinds of pictures for her, because she's not exactly a model and you're shooting her kind of as a model, but then she's not really wearing the kind of stuff that, like, you can't then appeal to a brand. You can't really, all you're doing is appealing to her. So for this, for that reason, and just the body language, this one's a bit of a miss for me, Gerard. I hope that helps. This one's a bit of a miss. Again, it's like, I'm not sure what kind of a photograph this is. If it's a fashion photograph, like, it has to be a fashion model, and you have to be shooting fashion. If it's a photo just for her, well, then we have to make her look the most amazing and the most flattering as possible. And that's not her. A, in this outfit, I would have never picked it. And B, her sitting down. I would never have somebody sitting down wearing this type of an outfit. They need to be standing. I hope that helps you. That is Gerard Danso. All right, Gerard. This is Daniel Joseph. Daniel, welcome. Daniel's from Auckland, New Zealand. This is March 2025, helping actors with their portfolios and wanted to work on some black and white portraits for myself. Natural sun, overhead with a big bounce, 5D Mark IV, 7200 2.8, ISO 250, f 4.5 at 1/250th of a second. This is Mr. Daniel Joseph. Daniel, thanks for submitting. Daniel, this is a beautiful portrait. It's just composed wrong. And you've heard me say this a couple of times today as far as how we shoot for editorial, how we shoot for magazines, how we shoot double page spreads. You can see how this would now work as a double page spread. And then what ends up happening, Daniel, which sucks, is say a magazine editor, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Say a magazine editor wanted to publish this. And this is what he has. He has 2 pages. Okay. This picture, he can only do one thing with. He has no other choice because you made it that way, because of the way that you composed it. The only thing that this art director can do is put this picture on 1/2 of one page, which means you've now gone from being able to have a double page spread in a magazine to now you have half page, and now the article goes down here, or half page and the article goes down here. Do this for me. When you look through the magazine next time, look at where all the center composed images end up in the layout. They end up as inset pictures because they can't be printed full page because of the composition. So I want you to look at just this one slight difference in framing. Okay? You punch in to here. Okay? And then you offset. Like the fact that you're trying to hold on to the window frame, like I see the idea, but if you're holding onto the window frame, you have to push her over here. So she exists here, or like here. So when we have a double page, her face is in the middle here. And then you can maintain this windowsill idea. And then it becomes a double page in the magazine. But editorially, I'm always looking for where the article will go. And because of the bar here, there's no place to put text because of that. Now over here, there's place to put text, but you can see that this bar down here, the text can't go over top of that because it won't be legible. And then the only thing that the art director will be able to do is then put like a box over top of your photo and then put the text writing inside it. That's the only option. So how we compose our photos, we don't get to get hired by a magazine and then they train us on how to shoot for them. We get hired because we already know how to work with print. We already know how to shoot double page covers, back covers, table of content. Like we know. And this is why I shoot so much magazine editorial. Just look at my website and see go to tear sheets and see all the magazine stuff that I shoot. Is because I know how to compose. I know how to compose for editorial, which means I shoot ads, I shoot editorial, I shoot all kinds of instances where my images have to work with text. So light, yes. Subject matter, yes. Decisive moment, yes. The black and white even, yes. It's just composed very, very, very literal and very straight on. There's a little bit too much headspace here. You're basically dropping her dead center, which is a very simple composition. I need your compositions to go way more advanced into an editorial composition because every time you're shooting, you're thinking to yourself, who would hire me to shoot this? Oh, a magazine. Okay, where do I want this to be in the magazine? Cover. Okay, let me do this. Because covers are always vertical. And then, you know what I mean? So, and if it's, you're holding the camera this way, ask yourself, why? Why are you holding the camera this way? What is so important over there and over there in the frame that deems it has to be this way? And then, well, then you can't dead center it. You gotta offset your subject, and not on the thirds, which you've heard me say several times. You can't offset on the thirds. You have to use a foregrid. So you're actually composing your image like this, where you are dividing your grid in 4. So it's actually, your grid goes like this, not in 3s. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to not put anything down here. And yes, drop our compositions here or here. That's what we're doing when we're shooting. We're composing on the fourths. That's the mindset. But again, it's something that in order to lock this in, you have to see it applied so many different times. Like, I even need to get a magazine. Like, I pull out a magazine and I'm like, okay, let's look at how double page spreads are composed and like how they don't put anything important on the gutter because the gutter does this dimple thing. So they, like, any double page spread in a magazine, like, they don't put anything important on the gutter. So let me see if I can find one more. Yeah. And oh, by the way, here's a perfect example. Here is a whole bunch of center composed images. Look at how they were laid out in the magazine. There's no other option. Like, did I not just say that example? Did I not just say that? Like, a whole bunch of center composed images. Look at the only way that the art director could lay this out. The only way. So, yeah, this is a double page spread. Thank you. That's a double page spread. You see that? One picture across 2 pages. And that's exactly how it's used. Textbook double page spread. But print is dead, bro. What do I need to compose? It's like, do whatever you like. Do whatever you like. Doesn't matter to me. But in case you're wondering why, this is why. Okay, so I'm so glad that you are here, Mr. Daniel Joseph, because you, my friend, can shoot. What I just gave you was a lesson in composition and why we don't drop things dead center when we're shooting horizontally, and also why we should be leaning towards shooting vertical, because pages are vertical. Humans are vertical. I know her arms are out, and that's why you shot the double page, but that's also a pose choice that you made. You have all the control. You could have had her lean instead of like this. You could have had her lean like this. And now that contains her and doesn't have her elbows pushing out and forcing a horizontal. You now just have her do this, which has the same feeling, but now is a vertical composition. We control everything, including everything that our subject is doing. I hope that helps you. Let's get it on. Thanks for submitting. It's a beautiful photograph. I'd love to see you reshoot this lovely lady with a different framing. I hope that brought you value. Guys, that was Daniel Joseph. This is Malik Brand. We got lots of new members submitting today. That makes me happy. Shot this in March while testing some light for a client. I liked how it turned out. I feel like I'm getting closer to the style I want to lean into. I'd love any feedback or suggestions on where this look might fit so I can keep narrowing down on the right niche. A7 III, 85mm 1.8, ISO 125, f3.5, 125 of a second. shot with 3 newer battery-powered strobes. This is Malik Brand. Malik, thanks for submitting. So where we're losing, Malik, is in the pose. I know that you don't look at magazines because models don't pose like this. Models don't pose like this. So body language, the way that she's positioned, her not squaring up to camera, her turning and projecting away, turning the head, like everything that's going on with her eyes, because the eyes have to track where the nose is. So if I look this way and then eyes you that way, all you see is the eye goo here in my eyes, right? So if you look here, this girl has big eyes, but her face is projecting this way, but she's looking this way. And then you see eye goo. Also, you're using texture, the texture slider in Lightroom, and it's making your skin look really not great. So what you're doing in post-production is also really hurting your files. I want you to look back here at that eye. This thing that's called texture, I want you to not use this tool ever. Do not adjust the texture slider because it is butchering your files. And you can see skin doesn't look like this. Skin doesn't look like this. You added texture. And because you added texture, I see all of her foundation that's not blended properly. I see all of her foundation that's not blended properly because you're accentuating that with what you're doing in post. So there's a couple, there's lots wrong with this picture. I'm not sure if you're trying to sell her as an OF girl or if you're selling the Calvin Klein. If that's the case, like you have to look at what Calvin Klein is doing with their advertising and how their models pose. So this hand on the head, like it's not a pose. And how you find poses that are actually like the hot shit is by buying Vogue and looking at what denim ads look like seeing what denim, and again, you said this was for the denim, right? But I'm only seeing this much of the denim in that picture. So there's lots that we have to be thinking about when it comes to doing this type of photography. Here's another pose that would have been way appropriate for denim, although she kind of looks lost and looking off into space. So how you find how to pose models is by looking at magazines, because if you're just winging it, what you usually get is you miss, because the new pose is no pose. The new pose is no pose. If you're shooting a woman, they can't be trying, because as soon as they're trying, it's kind of tacky. So, yeah, let me find, this is what you have to look at. You have to look at the light, what skin retouching looks like. Sorry, I want to go here. What skin looks like. When you really look in at the skin, you can see they're not doing any texture at all. So you can't ignore magazines, ignore what is happening in the industry right now and expect to progress. My suggestion is go way back on the retouching, and the posing vibe is where I feel like we're losing. Like some people, you put a pretty girl in front of them and they like forget everything that they're trying to do, and now they're just and you're letting the girl do, and you're not directing her. If a girl puts her hand, I'm like, bitch, who told you to put your hand on top of your head? I didn't tell you to do that. Just stay there. Stay there. Just be. I didn't tell you to do that. So that's what it's like shooting with me. I don't let like all of this happen when I'm shooting models. I don't. So how you correct this is by knowing how to direct a model, and how you learn how to direct models is by looking at magazines like it is your job. You should be looking, you should have a stack of Vogues, and then guess what you do? On set, you hold the magazine, and then you say this. You see this pose? You say, do that exactly. That's what you do. You say, do that exactly. And then you shoot that. That's what you do. You say, you see this pose? You see this pose? Do that exactly. And then guess what? You get better, Malik, at posing, because like when someone now, because this is your photography and your style. So if you're not controlling how your models, and if you're not guiding them into the body language, well, then they're just going to do whatever they think. And guess what? What they think is always wrong. It's always going to be wrong. Unless you're shooting a next level agency girl, like who has tons of magazine editorial. Those girls, you just watch them like Coco Rocha and let them go. But a girl who's girlfriend cute, not necessarily model cute, they're not going to be able to know what to pose the way that you do. So I'm going to do one. I'm taking a nice long time looking through these photos today because I'm in a good mood. I'm really trying to bring extra value to the people who choose to watch this show. If you don't choose to watch, I don't really care. But Coco Rocha cover. This, Malik, is going to help you more than anything. Okay, stop. Okay, I want you to watch, everybody here, watch what a model does in order to, watch what a model looks like. This is a model on set, okay? So I'm not going to full screen this, but this is a model, okay? This is Coco Rocha. I've shot Coco Rocha. She's not in my portfolio right now, I don't think. But this is Coco Rocha, Canadian, she's a supermodel. Watch Coco Rocha on set. So this is a movement cover. Like over and over and over again. Watch how she's always on her mark. You see the white dot here? That's her mark. That's her mark. So she's always staying on her mark. And she does it over and over and over and over. Still on her mark. This is so important to watch. And then that's the cover. So it's like when you're shooting real people, you can't ever shoot real people like models. You have to shoot real people like real people. And secret time, the new pose is no pose. If you look at me when I'm shooting models, they're not posing. They just are. That's the thing, especially when you have really beautiful girls, there's no pose. They just are. No pose. There's no pose at all. This is what I want you to lock in, Malik. When you look at my work and when I shoot models, there's no poses, bro. None. They just are. You know what I mean? So that's what you have to lock in when it comes to shooting photos. That's what makes my stuff swaggy, bro. Is my shit is just real. I have this oomph to the way that I pose people. I'm posing them, but the pose is no pose. If that makes any sense. My poses, it's no pose. So that's what you have to adopt because that's what the magazines are looking for. No pose. My latest test. No pose. Girls just hanging out. No pose. You know what I mean? This is what makes the most profound work is the no pose. Like that's what I want you to be thinking about, Malik. Next is the no pose. That's the vibe. No pose. So when you have a model who wants to do that, you'd be, what are you doing? That's what I want you to be thinking. Okay. And please, bro, no more texture slider, because it like you're not doing it down here, or it looks like, but up here on her face, it really starts to look, because this girl also has big pores. So you have to be really gentle with that. Okay. I hope that helps. New submitter. His name, Malik Brand. Welcome, Malik. Again, bro, you watch your work 2 months from now. You're going to be like, oh my God. Like, oh my God, I'm so much better than that. Like, you'll see. All right, Malik. This is Natalie. Oh shit! Are you a photographer ready to go photography business to the next level? Oh no, I just broke my system. Your business to make an immediate impact on your workflow, your client, give you the guidance you're needed to move your needle forward. Whether you're looking for a focused 1-hour session to fix a specific challenge, or I broke my shit. I pushed 2 buttons at the same time, which just broke my shit. I apologize for that. Jonathan says he's a first-time visitor and he's hooked. Jonathan, I'm sorry that I just glitched and played 2 spots at the same time. Tells you I'm human. Natalie, you know, I almost want to take a pause. Yes. Jonathan, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for believing in this thing that I'm doing here. I do need to play a spot, but we're going to let that, we're going to look at Natalie's photo. We'll play a spot after that because I just double pressed buttons and yeah, went all absolutely haywire there. So that we're going to have to fix. Natalie Murdoch, self-portrait. Natalie, thank you for submitting. Natalie says, this is the second time ever I've tried to do a self-portrait. Sony AR7 Mark II, 55mm 1.8, ISO 1600, 1/60th of a second, f9, shot with continuous light. This is Natalie Murdoch. Natalie, let's get it on. Finally putting yourself out there. Oops, why are we back on me? Finally putting yourself out there, Natalie. Finally. Thank you for submitting. It's well composed. It's good focus. I mean, the hard thing is when you're using constant light, it's really hard to... Can you tell me why that keeps happening? That's freaking me out. It keeps auto switching back. Natalie, I feel like when you're out there like you are here, this is a victory for me. It's composed perfectly. You can see it works well as a cover. The thing that I also love, Natalie, is you're confident. Like, you're confident in this picture. You're owning what you look like, which I've been working with you to get to this place for what feels like almost 2 years. So proud of you, Natalie. This is a photo that you absolutely could, should, and I hope will be using as your professional shot on your website. Here's what I need you to do. At some point, I need you to meet up with another photographer and maybe they can shoot a picture for you so you can have your camera. I would love to see, oh, here's another thing that you can try is you can do a picture in a mirror with your camera. You can do a mirror picture with your camera, which is something I've done a couple of times before. Natalie, this is a yes for me. This is a yes. It's exposed well. The light position is good. It's flattering. Like, this is a yes. This is a yes for me, Natalie. Yes, 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 yes. You should have done this ages ago. I mean, I don't want to shoulda, coulda, woulda you, but you could have, should have done this ages ago. Guys, I'm feeling generous and apologetic for just blasting your ears out with my commercial playing over top of itself. So I'm going to do this. How many likes did we reach, Mikey? How many likes do we have right now? The last time someone posted here, I have 41 likes. How many do we have now? Because I'm about to gift some members, some memberships. And Natalie, you did great. I'm proud of you. I'm going to give some memberships. How many likes do we have? guys? Tell me. Tell me. How many likes are we at right now? 41 still. Okay, how about this? There's 51 people watching. If one more person right now hits the like button, I'm going to gift 5 random people who are watching me right now memberships to this channel. That's how we're going to do it. If one more person hits the like button, if I hit 42. Have we done that yet? Have we hit 42? Someone hit the like button. I'm glitching. Somebody hit the like button, please, so I can be generous. I'm going to just be generous anyways. But you guys know, like, you want to support my channel, but you're not going to hit the like buttons? Come on now. 45 now. Let's go. All right. Well, there you go. Gifts. Gifts all around. All around. All around. All right. It's getting warm in here. I'll be right back. Designed to make an immediate impact on your workflow, your client outreach, and your daily habits. These resources will help you work smarter, grow faster, and feel more confident in building your career. You'll find links to all 3 under tools at thecartymethod.com. If you're struggling to find clients, my Cold Outreach Master Pack has everything that you need to land new business. It includes 18 proven email templates and a step-by-step guide for writing emails that get opened and generate real responses. If you're ready to take your client hunting strategy up a notch, this pack gives you clear, effective blueprints to start getting results. Consistency builds success. My professional photographer habit tracker is your daily accountability tracker. It helps you build the habits that matter most to running a successful photography business. Track your progress, set meaningful goals, and stay focused on what moves the needle. If you're serious about making steady progress, this tracker is a game changer. Shoots can get chaotic. Stay organized. My Ultimate Photographer's Call Sheet is your one-stop solution for planning and managing every detail of your shoots, from client communication and location info to equipment checklists and timelines. This tool helps you stay on top of it all. With my call sheet, you'll run your shoots like a seasoned pro, no matter how big or small the project. This is the call sheet that clients will remember forever. These tools are built for photographers who are serious about their craft and ready to streamline their businesses, connect with clients, and build professional habits that last. You can find them all under tools at thecartymethod.com. Let's start transforming your business today. Alrighty. Lamont DeSalle is our next photographer. Lamont says, shot this image over the weekend for a clothing line. Use one light in open shade, AD 200 Pro, and a silver beauty disc. And an assistant holding a foam core. Z6 50mm 1.8, ISO 100, 5.6, 1/60th of a second. This is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, let's get it on. Let's see what your framing is like this week, guy. That was one thing that I was watching last week, is the way that you were framing for 8x10. Let's see what this 8x10, hello, 8x10 frame. There you go. Very, very, very well framed, Lamont. Look at the way that this now works as an 8x10. I would just take that little sun shadow out. Now it crops properly for Instagram. Everything is framed really well here. Let me show you this as a cover. This looks strong, Lamont, as a cover. I mean, again, I want you to just continually pushing your location. Like the light, the open shade that you chose here is really strong. Let me hide the cover. The open shade that you chose here. Oops, wrong. Sorry, you didn't see that or that. The open shade that you chose here, Lamont, is good. Let me do that, is what I'm trying to do. But I also want you to know that the brightest thing in the scene is what we're seeing. So the brightest thing in the scene is where our eye goes first. So when we look at this as a whole picture, we can see like this here above him becomes the thing that we see first before we see him. So for me, your location is busy. You need just this up against a plain wall in the shade. So we actually will focus on this, the Nike SB and the skateboard. But I see this bright sky, the fence, these trees, the lines up here, that it's dirty under here, these lines over here, which aren't exactly straight. Like, there's so many different, and I see this Dasani thing down, this vending machine here. So there's so many, and then this little streak of sunlight down here that catches my eye as well. There's so many, like, what you want my eye to go to first is this clothing brand, which is here, right? And possibly also the shorts. So if that's what you want my eye to go to, then you need to remove all distractions from your location image and have this just up against something that's monochromatic, something that's a tone, like just one tone, you know, and then now I see him. You know what I mean? The fact that he's also looking off and he's not grabbing my attention by looking at me. So because now he's looking over here, now that takes my eye from him back into this bright area. So there's where you're choosing to drop your model is so important, Lamont. And look at the like this kind of a shot where the background becomes monochromatic. I mean, believe me, I don't do it always, but we're trying to pull your client's eyes, or your potential, whoever's looking at the image, you're trying to pull their eye into the outfit, into that one thing that you want them to look at. So I feel like the background, it's busy. It's just a little bit busy. And because you're shooting in shade, which I do recommend because the light on him is amazing, but also you're finding shade, but not finding the right shade with the right, very clean, very non-distracting background. The image that you shot of Joseph last week was that exactly. But this particular one, for me, it misses the boat. I want you to really think of how you can be finding non-distracting locations. Like this is, again, non-distracting location. You see, it's like just this block of wall color now contrasts what he's wearing. And I put him in front of the graffiti because I didn't want that to distract you from, and I definitely could have put him over here, but then you'd be reading the graffiti and not seeing him. So when we're picking locations on, like, same sort of thing, like the background is it's unconsequential. It's all about that hat and that Canada Goose logo, because that's all I want you to look at is that brand. So yeah, even here, like, yes, she's on a balcony. I want you to see that, but I still try to keep it relatively distract free. And you're just looking at the fact that she's just wearing that sweater. So that's what I'm trying to help you with, Lamont. I feel like the way that you're using locations, that's the next, like, huge thing. And again, I'm still leaning in on you on location. I just want you to be more disciplined with where you're stopping and choosing to shoot. I want you to pre-scout locations, pre-scout the right spots, and then go there on the shoot day and shoot them. I hope that helps. All right. So that is, are you talking about who got gifted memberships? So Mr. Jenks, Eric H, Sunkissed, K Miggs, and Josh Minnick. Y'all got gifted a membership during that last gifted run. That was Lamont DeSalle, everybody. This is my brother, Leslie Carty. Les says this is the top view of a gas tank. New work with the 2022 Triumph custom paint. My brother is a custom painter. He uses photography to document the work that he does. This is Les Carty. Les, thanks for submitting. Big brother. Bro, it's really, your stuff is highly reflective. Your stuff is highly reflective, which means where you're putting your work is incredibly important if you want your work to read as good as it is. This top down, yes. But what ends up being a no is this 2x6 that's going across, and this piece of tarp that's over here, and this thing, and that highlight, and like all the stuff that's happening in your shop. If you want to do a sick top down, you have to you actually have to block like all other, so the your workspace is not in the reflections. You're the mirror maker. So because you make mirror-like reflections, then you can't just then shoot it under shop lights, because the shop lights are not, it's not the right way to light something that you care about so much. Because I see everything. I see the whole shop here, and especially this particular piece right here. Whatever this is sitting on, wheel this outside and show me clouds and like outdoor something that makes it oomph. Like in order to do this type of photography, Les, like it's so hard because you're trying to do the body work, and you're also trying to bring your photography up to a level where your work looks as good in photography as it does in real life. And you're only one person, and it's really hard. You know what I mean? I totally get that. It's hard, Les, because like you need like a light tent. You need a tent, like, so you have a top, like a top, sides, and then just the front is open, and it's like diffused on all sides. And then that's a table. And then you like literally it's going to be hard to do top down, but you could shoot in that way and block all the shop and have like the right light. You need some sort of a tent to shoot these, because the way that you're shooting it now, like if you zoom in on this, bro, that's all you see. It looks like it's wrapped still. It looks like it's still under plastic. It's like, well, that's the reflection. Okay, but then make what's reflecting in there like look as good as the paint. And in fact, because this is white, it's taking away from the chevrons. We're actually not seeing the chevrons. We see this more than we see that part of the tank is black. So for that reason, bro, like, this is not a good representation of this piece, and I wouldn't share this photo because the reflections are so distracting, and this highlight is like it's really dominating. So it's not, I don't know, bro. I think I'd love to talk to you about how to work on or how to shoot this stuff, or you need to like collaborate with the photographer, and so you can just focus on doing the work and have someone else who's obsessed about product photography and figuring out the solutions for the reflections. They can obsess on that, because if you're going to lose days of work figuring out how to shoot your work properly, when again it's not your main thing. So I see how you're caught, and again, if you weren't like 5,000 kilometers away from me, obviously I'd be helping you with this, but I'm not there. So all I can do is advise, but this one's a miss, big bro. All right. That is my brother, Les. And understand this, like, yes, that's my brother, my actual brother, by the way, but I still have to speak to my brother exactly like any other professional. So if anybody is in the British Columbia area that has a great grasp or would like to put in the effort to help my brother document all of these crazy cars that he shoots and all of these gas tanks and helmets and all that stuff, reach out to me and I'll connect you guys. This is Marcus Mack. Marcus says, I've been sick. I'm looking to shoot more soon. Previous shoot with a realtor, natural light. It was hard to shoot this one with his hands in frame. I had trouble with exposure because of the sun shining on the area that he's sitting. I'm not sure what's going on at all here with the caption. R3 50 millimeter. If you have it, okay. ISO 125, 4.5, 1/60th of a second. This is Marcus Mack. Marcus, you have full control over where you put him. You have full control over where you put him. If you put him in such a way that like you can't get his hands, well, then you can back up. But then if you can't back up because there's no more room to back up, well, then something has to sacrifice. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's your job. It's your job to figure out how to solve all the problems in your photo shoots, all of them. I'm noticing your lines. This line here, this line's straight, but these lines are starting to converge in, and that has to do with where you're standing and how far in this way you are. The smartest thing is just to cut this out altogether, because once that's out, I no longer have a reference point of lines not being straight. I just have this wall. So we cut that out, and we do that by just simply punching in. We just punch in, like you just step in, and you have to sacrifice his hands. Sorry, I've been talking for hours. You have to sacrifice his hands because his hands don't fit. So it ends up being like this has to be your image here. So the lines are actually straight and everything works. So, or you have to take him to a different spot. The tone on tone though here, him with the gray shirt, with the gray background, the natural light, like there, that works. Yes, but you can see his body language. His body language, like he's sitting in a windowsill this way, but then he's turning with his feet going this way. He's turning this way to you, which that like looks weird. And again, it's like, but then he has his hands, it looks like his hands are like this and they're kind of leaning forward. So the positioning is your responsibility, Marcus. You have to position him in such a way that works. And then you can see like his shirt before he even sat down. Well, the first thing that he does before he even sits down is pull his shirt down and then get a good tuck, and then he sits down again once he has that good tuck, and then you go behind him and you pull his shirt back that way. So now you see how smooth my shoulders are on this shirt. So all of these things, when you're shooting a portrait, especially with someone with a button down, you have to watch all of it. You have to see everything. You have to notice everything. This is close, Marcus. Like it really is for me. It's close. This, and again, just, and this, it's hard because our eye can't help but go here. And again, I know that you have lights, like you can use lights and make light. You can light him in such a way that looks like this natural light. There's ways that we have, there's things that we can do, Marcus, but you can't make an excuse for something that you have complete control over. Like you put him here, so you can't say, yeah, well, I couldn't get it. Just have him position himself a little bit if you want the hands in there, or like have him a little bit more relaxed, put his hands in the pockets, like have him like project a little bit more to you so it feels a little bit more like oomph. So I hope that helps you. That is Marcus Mack. It's definitely, this is a step up, Marcus. Really good light, really competent, really great expression on him. I just want you to watch all the little things, like this thread here, which is right, like again, I see that. That means you see that. There's another one right there. You see this thread here. There's another one right there. They're so easy to fix in post. Just fix it. Just fix it. So it not only doesn't get to your client, it doesn't get to me. Like, these are small things that we can, these are small things that we can fix, which we're always trying to fix when we are delivering finals. Back here to in this little area, back here, you can kind of come back here and do a little cleanup here. Like, this is what we're scanning when we're looking at our finals. Once we choose a final, we are scanning it like at 100% like this, and going from corner all the way over and then down, and we're finding every single thing that we could easily fix corner to corner with our images. Corner to corner, we're scanning everything, and you can see the things that we end up seeing like that once we do these kinds of scans. And you can see where the drywall tape wasn't covered properly right here, right? Like, you can see where the paint, they didn't do 2 coats here, so that doesn't look like it's covered properly. And how they didn't do 2 coats over here, so that is underpainted. So like, this is how I look at photos. Like, I'm a crazy person. So my suggestion as well, Marcus, you're in my most elite program. We're going to keep pushing. This is definitely a usable image, but you're just going to have to punch in just a bit and do those Photoshop fixes that I recommended. Okay. That is Marcus Mack. Marcus. Good shit, Marcus. This is Ramon Trotman. Ramon says, so Ramon, curious to hear your thoughts on whether this could work as a portfolio image. Shot A7 for Tamron 70 to 180, 2.8, ISO 100, f9, 1/250th of a second, with 4 lights, 1 key light, 1 fill light, 2 edge lights. Ramon Trotman. Ramon, you don't need 4 lights for this. You need the right light for this. You're using 4 lights, but I don't see 4 lights. I see 1 light. I see the smallest of a highlight. I see the smallest of a highlight right here. Right here. The smallest of a highlight right here. Other than that, I maybe a little bit back here, but not the separation that I need from a shot like this. And a little bit of this back here and this back here. And then the light that you have in the front, you got 2 lights from the front. So you have a front light and then a fill light, which then they counter each other out. Like, the last time we talked, or last time you submitted, the thing that I said, I wanted you to really get really good at 1 light and then start honing in, but you're just doing what you want to do. So this feels like, here's your subject and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights. Like, that's what you're doing. This is what it feels like. 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, right? And so I'm asking for no fill light. Okay. No fill light. We don't do that. No fill light. What we do is we do 1 light, maybe a reflector, and then this light, mirror it with 1 more light back here. This second light here, you already have your light coming in from that direction. So the only place that you should be worrying about separation is here, where his hair is, because there's no separation there. There's no separation up here. You're putting separation here where we already have separation, because his skin is black and it's separate from his skin is brown, separate from the black background. Where you don't have separation is up here. Where you don't have separation is here. So I want to know where the ideas from the light are coming from, and especially in a situation where you're doing black on black, but this is black, this is gray, but I think you're trying to do a black background. but you're not doing a black background, you're doing a gray background. So again, I'm like, what you're doing with light, and you're not lighting with one light, you're lighting with 4 lights. And it's like, you haven't figured out exactly what to do with one light yet, but you have 4 of them. So because of that, it's just like, to the average person, this looks, oh my God, so amazing. To me, it looks flat and not punchy enough. It's not like, we want 100% black. And if you're using paper instead of velveteen, and if your subject is right on the background, which it looks like he's very close to the background, even if this is called jet black, seamless, it's still going to be gray. The only way to get jet black is using velveteen. And velveteen, you can see the difference, like actual black. I mean, obviously I can't put it not on a white background, but black. So that's, there's a couple of things here. The biggest thing is, if you're going to be using 4 lights, you take a picture and you see, where do I need, like, use one light, take a picture, where do I need separation? Well, his afro is blending into the background. So that's where you need separation. And then beyond that, perhaps a little bit of separation here, but all of that can be done with one light positioned in the right way, like up here, which will hit his head and back here. And then you just need one light for the mane, and then you shoot that way. And it's going to have way more depth and oomph. Again, Ramon, I would love to have some one-on-one time with you. I really would. There's some light. I want to help you with light. I really do. And again, you're close, but you're trying to do too much. And I'm not sure if you have a light meter, ratios, all this stuff. There's so many like needle nuancy things that I want to help you with. That is Ramon Trotman, everybody. Ramon. All right. We have Anton Duris next. Anton says, what do you think about this shot? Is it okay, or is it too much parts and labor? A6600 Sigma 18 to 50 ISO 100 f6.3 1/400 of the second. This is Anton Duris. Anton, thanks for submitting. It's not a portfolio picture, Anton. This is like, I know your work. I know the type of work that you do. This is a picture for you and your girl. I mean, it's well shot. It's well composed. It's nice low horizon line. But beyond that, it's a snapshot moment. The only reason that you would take a picture of someone in this position is because they're your girl, you know, your wife, your lover. That's the only reason. You like, if it's not your girlfriend. So Anton says it's not his girlfriend. So it looks like a tourist picture, and the kind of pictures that we're trying to make are not tourist pictures. Like, it just feels too much of a snapshot where it's like, oh, something's happening, let me get a picture. And again, like, we make pictures, Anton, we don't take them. And if this is now not your girlfriend, then this is actually a taken picture. It just happens to be composed well, but who's it for? What purpose does it serve? And it's like, yes, the visitor's on the beach. Cool. Yes, you framed him right here. Cool. But that's it, Anton. That's it. It doesn't, like, I want you to look at all of your work together and the photographs that you have me freaking out over. There's a line. And when we're trying to shoot lifestyle, this isn't lifestyle. This is snapshot like lifestyle. People in the market, people like, again, it's not a cartwheel. I just feel like that it's just, again, I have a friend who every time she travels, she does a cartwheel, and I was taking a picture for her in all these different spots. Like she's in Paris doing a cartwheel, she's in Costa Rica doing a cartwheel, like blah, blah, blah. And again, it's like, it's just snapshot stuff. It's stuff that's fun for Instagram, but it's not stuff that moves your needle. It's street photography. You just happen to be in this location. You know, yeah, what I would have wanted is you to go and take a portrait of these three girls. Like that, to me, that's more interesting than this girl doing a cartwheel. Yeah. And again, it's not a fitness thing. It's not like there's no like, yes, it doesn't make sense. And again, Anton, I've been spending a lot of time looking, and I've been spending a lot of time with Charles Fortin. I want you to look at Charles Fortin and the way that he approaches this type of photography. Like, look at the difference. Do you know what I mean? I want you to look at the difference. And do you see that, like, the purpose and the reason? Do you know what I mean? For me, it's not like even this moment. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think that it hits as hard as it could. You're a travel photographer and you need to put together a collection of images that absolutely wow people. And as I'm showing you Charles Fortin, his portfolio, and the portfolio that I'm helping him develop, you can see everything it's like he's still taking pictures at sometimes, but he's making it's in an editorial way. So again, that's what we're trying to get towards, where it's like there's a purpose for the ideas. For me, this is not the right image. I hope that helps you. All right, that is Anton Dudis. This is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel says, this is Julia. Lost a little quality sharpness on one side of her face, but is this portfolio worthy, yes or no? This is Fuji X Pro 3, 50mm, ISO 250, 121, a 25th of a second, not 1/125th of a second, just a 25th of a second at f9. This is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, thanks for submitting. There's something here, but the pose, as soon as this is happening, it's like, oh, you lost it. Now you're posing for me and pretending that this is a real moment. So it's the sharpness, definitely losing sharpness on that side of the face. This backhand does not look good, Danielle. It looks like her hands on backwards. Like it doesn't, it's too claw-like. All I needed her to do, dude, is to just have both her hands in her pockets, looking back that way. Like, it's a very well composed editorial style picture. Like, it very much is almost there. You pre-cropped this to 9:12, but you can see, like, it doesn't need the pose. It doesn't need the hand on the head. I just want both her hands in her pockets, looking back that way, and then boom, we have the picture. I also would really like to see this not with this in the background, just up against this textured wall, like without the screen and the glass, and like the screen is there to protect people. Like, just, is there a section of this wall that has nothing, that's just the wall? Because to me, that's now the picture. Because I'm again, it's very let's say disciplined, the way that you shot it. Her head is very much like dead center in the frame, and that's because you're making this your picture, which is this background, and like, but then also she's in the picture. Just think of how much closer you could have got on her if you didn't care about this thing in the background. And then you would have definitely nailed the focus and the exposure if it was just a picture of her instead of a picture of her and also this window screen. So because you chose to frame it that way, I would just want to see this just on a plain background. It definitely has something, Daniel, but yeah, I'm kind of losing it with it being in front of this window, and her hand on her head is the one thing that is like, ugh, no, please no. Anyways, Daniel, I hope that helps. That's Daniel Van Cleef. So yeah, I'm not really sure on that one in your book, bro. And we are down to our last three photos. And then I'm going to tell you guys what next week's assignment is. You're going to be very happy. This is Amond Thompson. Amond says, Dr. Annie from another session. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome, Amond. Fuji X-T5, 56mm 1.2. ISO 125, f11, 1/25 of a second. 2 strobe setup. This is Amond Thompson. Amond, thanks for submitting. Amond, you definitely have something here. I kind of wish her hair was down. She has that kind of hair that, like, again, your light is great. The exposure on her face is great. The placement is great. Hair light's great. But the problem is the flyaways. Because she has that like curly hair, it's just like, I want to just see it. It's now in a bun in the back, which looks very like proper. But for a photo, for a lady, especially a lady that's this pretty, like you want to see that hair down, because in not having her hair down, well, now this is an exercise in flyaway madness. Do you see what I'm saying? Like this, you can't take away these flyaways without it making it look overly retouched. And I'm sure that's the situation that you're in. Like you can see the flyaways are just everywhere. So and this piece that's coming down here in the front, this piece, well, that's also like, it also has flyaways. So for me in this situation, it's like, miss, could you please go to the bathroom, take your hair down, take as much time as you like? Because it makes like the bun, it just looks like something that grandma would do. But she's so young and cute. And then the flyaways then make it, not only is it not like contemporary, it also ages her. So, and then the flyaways then also look messy. So just take the hair out, do like a blah blah blah, get her zhuzhed, and then the flyaways with the big hair makes sense. It makes sense. And her hair now comes around and shapes her face, and then accentuates, like it just focuses you on her face now. You'll notice I never shoot girls with their hair up. That's just not a thing. This is not a thing. And again, if you look at my site, you think I'm joking. Like, look, there's hair, especially long hair, like it's made to frame a face. So it's never up. It's never up in a photo. Like down. Like anytime you see a girl who, I mean, this I was shooting for, and she actually had short hair, but hair is, I mean, this is a beauty campaign, skin care, but a hair is always down. The hair is always down. It's like, it is that thing that shapes a lady's face. So it's okay to ask a lady to take her hair down for a photo. It is absolutely okay. And I do it every single time. In fact, I say, don't come to the photo shoot with your hair tied up because it puts a cinch in your hair. So, again, hair down is a superpower for ladies. It's a superpower for you as a photographer to release a female's hair. Okay? Release it. And when you're shooting portraits, that is the time that you're like, please, can we take your hair out? Because your hair out, like, could look like this. This is what her hair could look like out. But instead, so for me, Amand, it's the only thing. It's like the light is right. The composition is right. The expression is right. Everything is right, except your nervousness to ask somebody who is your client to fix something about their appearance. Trust me, when you start doing it like I do, they will thank you. They will hug you. They will say, and you know what she's saying? Now that she's at home, she's saying this, I should have took my hair down. I should have took my hair down. That's what she's saying, because people aren't thinking about photography. They're thinking about what's convenient for them. And what's convenient is her hair up. What's not convenient is these flyaways and what it looks like. And you can see she let this little string down because she wants to have her fucking hair down, Ammon. Just bathroom, take your hair out, zhuzh it, put a little bit of product to tone it down a little bit, and then boom, now she's a supermodel. And it now takes her from being that like buttoned up administrator to looking like someone when they see her picture, they're like, wow. Why? Because she always wears her hair up, which is why when you photograph her, let her take her hair down. Because guess what it creates? A transformation. And that's what they're paying you for. That transformation, including her image. It's so simple. Hair down would have changed this and knocked it into another stratosphere. I hope that helps you, Emmett. Again, it's like we can't just shoot, like they come in front of us. You're like, okay, sit here, click. Okay, thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Bye. It's like, no, let me look at you. Let me hair. Why is your hair up? Oh, sorry. I just came from I wasn't even thinking. Okay, well, let's take it down. Because that's exactly what happened. She wasn't even thinking of it. Because if she was thinking of it, she would have been like, and really cleaning up all of those flyaways. But it was an afterthought, which is why you are here. Because you're the last line of defense. And you can look at her black hair up against your white background and say, flyaways. And then you can create a solution for it. So you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're in a ican'tretouchthis.com, which is where you are right now. I hope that helps you, Emmond. That is Emmond Thompson. All right. I get very passionate about this stuff, man, because people thank me. They're like, oh my God, you don't miss anything. You see everything. Oh my God, thank you so much. And it's like, I'm like, go like this. Oh yeah, you have something right here in your teeth. You need to, like, go to the bathroom, take that out. Oh my God, thank you so much. Matter of fact, just do a brush so you're all nice and fresh. Ammond, you're very welcome. Ammond just became a member for another month. Ammond is up to 14 months. You're very welcome, Ammond. Thank you for becoming a member again. And again, you see, this is me critiquing Ammond, but Ammond is not like, he's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Now from here forward, ladies, hair down. And zhuzh them, you know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. Let them go to the mirror. Let them feel like a, yeah, when you're shooting pictures of them. And that's always what ends up happening. Hair down. They're like this. They're these kind of people. Buttoned up, like, and then now they're like, when their hair all like, it's like, no, man, no. It's not flattering. It's not flattering to have, like, hair down. Now that hair kind of comes and it's all like, and now it hits their shoulders and it's like, now they're like, hey, boom, transformation. And then all their friends who always see them, now it's like, they'll be like, bitch, why don't you take your hair down? Oh my God, why don't you wear your hair down? You look so much better like that. And now, just through your photo shoot, now that girl doesn't wear hair up anymore. And by the way, when girls wear their hair up, they end up with like, their hairline goes from here to like here. Then they have a 5 head or a 6 head, because that's all they do is like, and all this hair just gets pulled out. My girl never wears her hair up. And it's like, she has her hair. It's not up to here. She's got a hairline because she's not like elasting it back like every day. Anyways, this is a black guy telling white girls what they should be doing with their hair. Anyways, this is Mike Steinmetz. Where did my music go? Why did my music stop? What's up there? There we go. All right. That, guys, was Amond Thompson. Amond, thanks for submitting. Yes, light. Yes, like, express, like, bro, you're getting so good. This is now this one thing. Add that where you actually put more of your opinion onto people. Hey, I think you should do this. Hey, I think you should do this. I think let's try this with like their appearance. Bro, your stuff is going to go up to here. Trust me. All right. That is Mr. Emma Thompson. We got Mike Steinmetz. We got 2 photos left, guys. Thanks for your patience today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, we had over 20 photos to look at, and I don't just like, yes, no, I'm not this guy. No, it's just, I tell you all the things that you need to hear, and I do it for every single photographer because it's super important and it's individual, which is why you can't be at home watching, not submitting, and thinking that, I mean, yes, you are going to learn things when I review other people's photos, but you don't see your isms. And every photographer has isms, those things that you do, like holding the camera this way when it should be this way. And you can watch me review other people's photos and you hear me say over and over again, but then you go back and you do the same fucking thing. So when you hear it from me talking about your specific photo, and then I like, it sticks, trust me. And all the photographers that are not afraid of like feedback, they're not afraid of feedback because feedback equals improvement. If you're not getting feedback, you're not improving. You're just patting yourself on the back and looking for a bunch. What do you think of this photo? Pointing it to somebody who has no idea about photography, is not a pro, and can't hire you. They're like, looks great to me. And then you're like, amazing, I'm great. Like, getting validated by people who their opinion doesn't matter. That's what you're doing. That's your feedback. Rather than getting feedback from me, which might hurt your feelings a little bit, but will definitely make you a killer. Again, or just stay where you are. Lately, after every one of these episodes, 2 more people, 3 more people, 4 more people sign up for Portfolio Lab. Know this though, once I get to 100 people, it closes, and it closes forever until people start dropping out. And that's when I'm going to start cutting people, because this isn't a joke. I want the best of the best of the best people who find me on YouTube to be in Portfolio Lab, so I can actually be coaching them up to get them to the level of some of the photographers that I showed you at the beginning of this episode. All right, guys, that was Amond Thompson. Our next shooter is Joseph Baldwin. Oh, no, this is Michael Steinmetz. But how come I don't have Steinmetz's photo here? No way. Michael Steinmetz's picture is Joseph Baldwin? Like, Steinmetz, you shot Baldwin? Is that what's going on, Mike? You shot Joseph? Were you in Houston? Is that what's happening here, Mike Steinmetz? Guys, our next photographer, Mike says, this is Joseph holding a camera. I'm considering an expansion on my niche, switching up to be a broader people niche, but in the lifestyle genre. And of course, focus as much as possible on trades, craftspeople. Joseph was kind enough to model for me, and I think this guy could be a model. R8, RF 50mm 1.8, ISO 400, 1/60th of a second, 6.3 shot natural light. Okay, first of all, Joseph, you've now met almost as many Carty Method people as I have, which is pretty amazing. Guys, our next photographer, Michael Steinmetz, photographing another one of my photographers. His name is the mighty Joseph Baldwin. All right, Mike, let's look at this. Let's look at this as a cover. I mean, Mike, this is a very, very competent editorial portrait, bro. It's a very competent editorial portrait. Small things, you know, like where you're dropping this black bar through here, and this where you're dropping the railing. Like, it's small things, man. But really, he's wearing the right outfit that like separates him from the background. The hat, he's rocking the Carty Method. Camera body, like it works. Like, what am I gonna say? It works. It's a super clean, easy shot, Mike, that works. You get this. You know how to shoot. I want you to really watch your focus. It's just a touch out. But good exposure, good vibes. There's a couple of little small things. You can get a little dust out of his beard, get that little thing off his neck. But other than that, man, this is a yes. You didn't see that photo. This is a yes for me, Steinmetz. I like this a lot. This is a yes. Yeah, it's super clean, super easy. Again, the way that you use locations is really... We really have to always watch. You're trying to watch your lines. You can see this line going this way, but then the way that this line then goes diagonal, but then the lines that you have across here are straight. You're shooting him into, but tonally, it's kind of all right. Like, tonally, he still steps out. The background's a little bit darker in exposure. Like, it still works. So I'm not going to break your balls. Like, this is a really good swing for you, Mike, because again, I know how you shoot. And again, I only judge you against you. I've only ever judged the photographers who submit against themselves. This is a really good picture. I'm giving you an 11. I'm giving you an 11 on this one. This is dope. Guys, that's Mike Steinmetz. You guys still with me? You ready for the last photo of the day? Are you guys members? You two? Are you members of this fine channel? You and you? Yeah? Yes? Yes? You? Okay, good. She doesn't know where she is. Dude, this one doesn't even know where she is. She's just turned on the YouTube and I was on there, so she's just watching that. I've been trying to make all of the Carty Method to do a meetup. It's hard because you guys are all over the world and I'm up here in Canada. But I'd go to Texas. I'd go to Texas happily. I'd go to Texas. I'm kind of wanting to do some sort of oomph, you know, wanting to do some sort of oomph, some sort of meetup. I'm going to South Africa. How about that? Come meet me in South Africa in November. All right. This, or I'm going to maybe California. I'll be in California in September. So that's another option. Guys, that's Joseph Baldwin, photographed by the mighty Mike Steinmetz. Mike, thank you for submitting. And our last photo is Joseph, who was the photographer who's in the last photo. This is now his photo. This week's focus is all about my niche on location. I'm thinking about adding this lifestyle shot to my book. Shot with the Canon EOS R with 50mm, ISO 400, 1/25th of a second, f7.1. Shot with the Godox at 1/16th power. This is Joseph Baldwin. JB, yes, there's a vibe here. I just want you to take 1/2 step with this guy that way, just so we can get rid of this sign right here. I don't think that we need that sign. If this image cut here, I don't think that we would miss anything. Just have him like move over, or you just rotate that way and shoot him just a little bit more that way. The light on his face is gorgeous. The background, you can see this building because it's lit. The exposure on that background is much hotter than the exposure that you have on him. What I want you to be trying when you're doing outdoor strobe is try not to find a piece of shade, but then look into a piece of bright. You see what you're doing? Like that's a piece of bright. You have him in a piece of shade. So if you're not lighting him, he would have been totally silhouetted here. But because you're aiming into a piece of light, well, then that, like, look at what's going on with the concrete. This concrete goes completely white, and then it's obviously not white. So find a place where he's all in shade, or turn around this way, rotate him, come in this way, you stand where the sun is, and then light him, but then the whole scene here is in shade. So it's still a sick picture, Joseph. It's still absolutely usable. As I zoom in on his crotch, it's absolutely usable. The light on his face is perfect. Like it really is spot on. I just want you to notice our eye always is going to go to the brightest thing. So if our background here is brighter than that skin tone, these windows and like these highlight spots are brighter than that skin, however smooth and beautiful it is, we're going to go to the things that are white first. And we're also going to go to the things that distract us first, like this Wall Street Lofts sign right here. So I want you to slow down just a bit before you shoot and do your best to like think of how can I remove distractions? Where do I need to stand in order for there to be no distractions? I also want to show you this. Look at how this building looks in shade. It looks much nicer on this side than it does on this side. So imagine this light on this guy's face in this with that darkness in the background. Right? So now you're putting him in shade and shooting into light. I want you to put him in shade, shoot in, and then light him in the shade. And then it'll really rich up the background, if that makes any sense. Let me show you an example that like riches up the background that I did on location. With like this one picture of Damon, sorry kid, like this here, this is outdoor strobe, makes the background darker because I waited for the light to be kind of gone in the background so it would really push down. Come on now, my thumbnails are too big. No, they're not, they're just the right size. There it is, that's what we're looking for. So this, now, imagine here, this is what it looks like when you're not using a highlight in the background and you in the shadow and shooting into the light. This is what it looks like when everything is in shadow. The whole scene is in shadow, and I have sun pushing in here. Oops, sorry. Oh my goodness, stop. Go back to here. So I have sun pushing in this way, but he's in shade. And then I have my strobe pushing in that way. So you can see just that difference of now he's lit, but he's in a darker scene, like a shade scene, where there's another image of him up here where I'm lighting him, but then I'm pushing him into the sun, which I have here. So you can see, like, I do have a bright area here, which is that sun coming over his shoulder, but where he's standing, he's in a shaded area, and there's only this bit of piece of sun back there. And then I'm now hitting him with artificial light in on that side. So little secrets when it comes to using artificial light, Joseph. This is a really good swing. Artificial light outside. This is a really good swing. It's really strong. I really can't wait to see what you end up doing with this outdoor strobe. This is a really good swing. I'm going to give you an 11 on this one. Again, it is like, I'm not breaking your balls because it's bad. I'm breaking your balls because it's good, but it could be even better. Also, watch your crops. This is something that I missed until now. I want you to see this. as an 8x10. Hello. I want you to see this as an 8x10 and how this fits with his feet. And you can see the way that you framed this. I kind of thought that the way that you framed this, you can see you didn't give yourself enough room. So now when we actually go to an 8x10, Joseph, look, you're actually losing his feet and the bottom of the deck. So this space, I want you to look at this distance right here. This distance from right here to here. That space, that's 2 inches. Okay, that's 2 inches between here and here that you lose when you go to Instagram. So you have to either do a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom like that. That's what 1 inch on the top and on the bottom looks like. If you have to contain your image within that space or you're going to lose. So that's one thing that I didn't catch on the initial pass on this, Joseph, but I looked at it again. I'm like, oh shit, I don't think this is going to crop to 8x10. So I want you to lock that in as well. Guys, that is Joseph Baldwin and our last image of the day. Okay, so let's talk about photos of the week, and then I'm going to tell you what your next week's assignment is. So, photos of the week. I am going to be... How am I feeling today? Am I feeling generous or am I feeling harsh? I'm feeling just reality. I'm going to just give love to the best photos of the week. How about we do that? And I'm going to pick out a couple of best in shows. So let's start our photos of the week, starting with Mr. Courtney Turner. Courtney, it's a photo of the week, buddy. Congratulations. Let me hide my face. Congratulations. That is a photo of the week. Courtney Turner. Congratulations, Courtney. Very well done. Very well done, Mr. Courtney Turner. Our next photo of the week. Again, I was incredibly critical on this photo, but this guy always hits hard. This is Ian Martin. That's a photo of the week from Ian Martin. Ian, congratulations, Ian. Well shot. Again, everybody, listen to my critiques. Listen to all the things that I say. Make the adjustments where you can and get these shots into your portfolio. All right, next photo of the week. This photographer, okay. This is a photo of the week today because this photographer really broke through. And again, I'm judging this photographer against himself. And I'm just so proud of this guy. Our next photo of the week, people, goes to Robert Myrick. Robert, this is the beginning of something for you, my guy. I'm very, very excited, and I'm proud of you for making this lateral move. Very good. That's Robert Myrick. That's another photo of the week, people. Ding, ding. This is a new shooter, and I broke this guy's balls too. I was very hard on this photographer, but this guy can shoot. This guy can shoot. I am looking very, very forward to more work from this photographer. This is Marcus Mayfield. Marcus, first photo of the week, my guy. Congratulations. You can shoot. You can shoot. And I'm going to get you off high-speed sync. And the more I learn about your niche, the more I'm going to be able to help you. Congratulations. Next. I was hard on the shooter too, but it's pretty fucking close. It's pretty close. All right. Yeah. Okay, guys. Our next photo of the week. This goes to Kivian Durrett. Kivian, congratulations, bro. It's photo of the week for you. Again, keep in mind every single thing that I said in order to make this picture absolutely next level. For you getting this far on your own, this is a photo of the week for me. Congratulations. It's a great idea. All right, that is Kivian. Yes, this photographer. Again, quite hard on this shooter too, but it's necessary. But I don't want it to go unnoticed how fucking good this photograph is. Ladies and gentlemen, your next photo of the week is Mr. Daniel Joseph. Daniel, congratulations. Welcome. Very beautiful photograph, very capable. Hopefully I helped you get this, or the next time you shoot, you will be seeing photography in a whole Daniel Joseph. Yes, you'll be seeing this composition framing after today's episode in a whole new light. Congratulations. That is a photo of the week. All right. And this photographer for finally... And again, I'm working so hard with this photographer. At times, it's I get very frustrated. It's like pulling teeth sometimes. But this photographer is making some really big strides, and in the past weeks, has really been not trying but doing. And because this photographer did this one thing, I'm so proud of her, because I understand how incredibly difficult it was for you to do this, and you did it well. Very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next photo of the week winner goes to Miss Natalie Murdoch. Natalie, congratulations. I just want you to know, when you have a tendency to win. I want to say that again. When you do, you have a tendency to win. So do more, okay? That's Natalie Murdoch, everybody.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay. Photo of the week goes to Marcus Mack. Marcus, well done. Well done. Do me a little punch in, little crop for me. Take out that little crooked lines on camera right, but this works for me. Next photographer. Again, there's some styling issues. There's some light ratio issues. I'm still really trying to understand who it is that you are as a photographer. But you can shoot, guy. You can shoot, guy. This is our next photo of the week winner. This is Ramon Trotman. Ramon. Again, remember every single thing that I said about this photograph, but you have something, bro. You have something. I feel like you need one-on-one time with me. You need one-on-one time with me. I really like... You need a little bit of a shake, and then, like, I can say straight. Just need, like, a little bit of that, because you're good, but ego gets in the way with you. So I'm trying to, like, tamp down your ego a little bit, give you a little shake, so I can, like, have you seeing the way that I see. This Ramon Trotman. Very close. And again, like, I'm being next photo of the week goes to, this is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, again, I'm not there. I'm not in the scene. I don't know exactly what you had as an option. I'm hoping that you have another image without this hand. Maybe both hands in the pocket. If you do have another edit from this, I'd like to see it, because again, there's just like, it's so hard when it's just one thing that wrecks a photo for me. But again, I want to give you props and good acknowledgement. And yeah, I'm going to give this guy acknowledgement too, because his consistency has been incredible. Guys, photo of the week goes to Amond Thompson. Amond, I also like this review for you. It's going to change something. I know, because you're going to have the confidence to help people when it comes to, hey, maybe tear down, or hey, maybe just change that jacket, or like you're going to have the confidence to help people into their best self. Like that's really what we're trying to do. And again, the only issue that I had was with the hair up, and that is by no means a reason for you to not win photo of the week on this photo. So congratulations, Amond Thompson.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And there's more. There's more. There's two more, in fact. This is a photographer who is now sowing his royal oats, and it makes me happy. This photographer who win photo of the week is Mike Steinmetz. Mikey, photo of the week. Hey, Malik just super chatted $4.99. Malik, let's get it on. Malik, thank you for your hard-earned money, my guy. I appreciate you. Don't forget, money comes frequently and easily when you're making it with cameras. Thank you for donating your $4.99. Malik says, I'm going to come back with photo of the week. Yeah, you are. Of course you are. Of course you are. All these photographers, believe me, like, you don't get to see today the photographs that these shooters used to make. You don't get to see them. You just get to see them now because each week they're progressed. But secret time, go back a year or 6 months, 7 months, and watch, and then find a pony that is submitting now, and you'll be like, holy shit, Joseph, like, look how far he's come. Like, that's the brilliant part. Guys, that is Mike Steinmetz with the photo of the week of Joseph, in case you missed it. Mike, yes. Guess what? You're also a portrait photographer, if you so choose. Because you definitely can shoot this stuff. And our last and final photo of the week is from the photographer who is in this photo right here. And that is Mr. Joseph Baldwin. Joseph with a photo of the week. Very well done. I'm really liking what you're doing with outdoor strobe right now. It's sexy. I just want more. I just want more is what I'm asking. I want you to just try more. Push harder. Go try different locations. And I mean, Joseph, I can't wait to see what you got in store for me. Guys, if you didn't win, it is all good. It just means that there was too many mistakes and again, things that you got to fix. It's all good. You can't win them all. Today, I was feeling generous. Today, I wanted to give some love to people who cared enough to submit. And again, I give love to the best work of the day. Now, do we have a best in show? Do we have a best in show that I was like, wow, this is the absolute best in show like that? Some weeks, yes, sometimes no. Today, yes, we have two best in shows. Two best in shows, starting with this photographer. They call him Courtney Turner. Courtney, that is a best in show and a photo of the week. Congratulations. Best in show and photo of the week. Congratulations. And our last best in show photo of the week. Guys, you ready? Our last best in show photo of the week. It is Bugatti. It is Ian Martin. Photo of the week and best in show. Ian Martin. Congratulations, guys. I hope that brought you value. Now you want to know what you're shooting next week? Whew, I'm so excited. Let's get into this week's assignment. Now, first of all, if you're watching today or Wednesday or Thursday before my other show, you are finding out 2 days early what the next assignment is. Okay? It has been a long time coming for this. I am asking for your niche in black and white. Black and white. I want you to create a striking black and white image that showcases your niche and your signature style. The goal is to use the power of monochrome to highlight emotion, texture, storytelling, proving, I want you to listen to this, proving that your work stands out even without color. Okay? Color is a crutch. There, I said it. Color is a crutch. But guess what? Black and white, that's also a crutch. Black and white is also a crutch because you can't hide. You can't put unnecessary things in your frame and think it's going to work in black and white. If you think I see everything in color, I see everything in black and white as well. In fact, easier because it's isolated. I want you to create a striking black and white image that showcases your niche and your signature style. Use the power of monochrome to highlight emotion, texture, storytelling, and prove to the world that your work and your compositions stand out even without color. So that is your assignment. If your photography can captivate in black and white, you know that it's going to kill in color. You know your vision and your technique is truly strong if it can stand out in black and white. This assignment challenges you to distill your niche to its purest visual elements. You're able to use timeless power, the timeless power of black and white, to make your work unforgettable. This is a vertical assignment, meaning vertical. Too many of you shoot horizontal by default. This is a vertical assignment. Please do not shoot horizontal and crop it vertical. That's just silly. You're wasting 2/3 of your sensor. Guys, that is the end of the show. I want a black. Now, by the way, this assignment will be posted after Thursday's show. I will tell you again Thursday that this is your assignment, but you, because you're watching me now, you have 2 extra days to now prepare some thoughts as to what you're going to do. By the way, how obsessive am I? Look, I'm that obsessive. Like, yes, I have all of my lens caps labeled with what lens they're supposed to be on. Of course I do. You don't? Come on now. Of course I have. What, at the end of your shoot, you just like look at your caps and like, bro, systematic system, like boom, 85, 50, 135, 200, 100, like bang, 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 bang. And guess what else? I don't leave a photo shoot unless every single one of my lenses have both caps, the end cap and the front cap on, and my assistants don't get to leave. Like, I came to the shoot with all my caps. We don't leave the session until all my caps are back on the thing. Seriously. So that means check your pockets. Like, bro, if you have my fucking lens cap in your pocket, I'm going to lose my mind. Seriously, it's not where my lens cap goes. It goes in the slot where you took the lens out, take the caps off, and drop it back in that slot. Let's bring my gear bag. Let me just show you how you do it. So, it's my 85, okay? So it's got a sticker, so I know, like, it's Carty's lens. It's my 85. Let's look at the rear cap. rear caps are universal, right? Rear caps are universal. So it only has a green sticker, which this is Carty's. So rear cap, they're universal. Front cap says 85 millimeter. Okay. Every one of my lenses. And then there's no issue. Next one is a 135. Look at this. A 135. Right here. Sticker. Rear cap. Oops, let's fix that. Rear cap. And even the lens is labeled green because my stuff. So every one of my lenses. The only one that I haven't done that to is my brand new one. This lens I never use. This is a 24-70 f4. 24-70. Rear cap. You know what I mean? It's like every one of my pieces of glass. All of them. My 100 takes the same size lens cap as it's a 58. No, never mind. Nothing else takes 58s anymore. So that's the 100. Lens hood, which of course the lens hood goes like this as soon as we shoot. Lens hood goes like this. Rear cap here goes in the bag. Goes right in the slot that this came out of. So again, cap in the slot. Easy breezy. That's how it goes. And then of course my light meter, in its case, still same light meter I've had for 30 years. And the light meter, back of the light meter, Carty sticker. And yeah, it just, it's like, it makes it super easy. I used to have a bag sponsor, Hex, but I think Hex brand is going under. They've been my sponsor for 10 years, so I'm looking for a new bag sponsor. Yeah. And then what else? How about this? Another really essential thing in my bag. This one and this one. So look at this. Memory cards. New memory cards in a hard metal thing, and you pull out your cards, right? And then used ones. So used cards go in here. And you can just slot. I don't use SD cards anymore. I use CF Express cards, but I still have these in my bag because my camera takes dual card slots, SD and CF Express. But then also that camera and this camera, these two cameras, this one and this one, both use SD cards. So you need this too. Used. Yeah, I have tons of gear. Tons of gear. Oh, I bought a 50 millimeter. A shitty one. Look, I bought not a shitty one, but like this one. I bought the 50 millimeter STM because I want to do a lens test. This 50 millimeter against this 50 millimeter, like 50 millimeter 1.2 versus 50 millimeter 1.8. $2,000 lens versus $300 lens. What's better on the same camera body? So, yeah, I just kind of bought that, and also I kind of need this for video too. But yeah, guys, I hope today brought you value. I like inspiring. I showed you a bunch of magazines, which if you don't have a bunch of magazines, y'all, like, are you kidding? A magazine on Blondie? What? My girl's a huge Blondie fan, so we got her this magazine. The albums, the songs, the books. And again, imagine you're a Blondie fan, and it's like Debbie Harry pictures from like all through the era. It's so sick. You got to buy magazines, man. Oh my God, you're trying to shoot rock and roll photography and you're not buying magazines looking at vintage 70s rock and roll photography? Are you kidding? Oh, so sick. So sick. Yeah, anyways. Oh my God, Debbie Harry. What a rocket. So yeah, magazines. I have I have like walls of them, and every once in a while I like to pull out a couple and show you. These are all current ones. Up Today brought you value. Guys, we got some new subscribers today. We got some new members today. I gifted you guys a bunch of memberships. I hope you're going to go binge some more of my content. I hope you're going to go to thecartymethod.com and find out how I can help you make your photography dreams a reality. And if nothing else, join Portfolio Lab, get yourself phase 0, and let's help you build that photography career. I've really simplified my photography, the Carte Method site. So have a look through, click what you need the most help with, and I got a solution for you. And also, by the way, if you're not on my list, make sure you're on my list, yo. I send out gold multiple times per week. Guys, I hope today brought you value. One love.
This live stream was brought to you by Pixpa, the best website builder for photographers and creatives, and Indie, the best way to run your freelance business, and by you, the members and subscribers of the Carte Method. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month to show your support for our content, and we'll reward you. You get members-only content every month, and Carty has the best emojis on YouTube, and you'll get that crown badge next to your name. If you're building your photography business, make sure you join Portfolio Lab. How ready are you to be a pro? Take the Carte Method Pro Photographer's Readiness Scorecard. You'll always find helpful links in the show notes. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert. Even if the content you're sharing isn't yours, be a curator and share this content with your network. Find your creative and business genius with the Carte Method.
We might try something special this afternoon. Stay tuned.